What comes first with the album? What's the first thing? Is it like, do you think, is it the tune suddenly come, or is it, did you have the idea for the title, or?
No, I mean the first. I mean, I hadn't written anything for a good sort of year and a half, something like that. And in between times, I made the covers album. And you know, there's sort of talk about me having writer's block, but I don't see it that way. I was just like, really didn't want to write anything. I was just really fucking bored with it all. I just thought I want to just put it aside for a little bit and take a little holiday away from it all, which I did, you know. And doing the covers album was really good for me because it's kind of liberating, really. It wasn't, I didn't have to worry about writing 12 tunes or whatever. It was just, you know, make a record and just have some fun and enjoy it, which was great to do. And consequently, I think the songs come back to me. You know, I said around that time, I was like, I'm not trying to write any tunes. I just, like, you know, if I'm ever going to write again, then they have to come and find me. You know, which they did. And then like last year, around sort of October, November time, whenever it was, I was ill for like 3 weeks. Couldn't sing for a while. I had to cancel tours and all that stuff. And I had all this sort of spare time on my hands, which I'd never really ever get. I had like sort of good sort of 3 or 4 weeks of doing nothing. I literally had to just rest up and stay at home and all that stuff. And in that time, I wrote sort of 6 or 7 tunes, you know, just by sitting in the kitchen and just fucking about on the guitar or piano or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they just started to sort of flow, you know.
Were you thinking there was a point where, prior to that, were you thinking, well, maybe you wouldn't do another record?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, well, I was quite happy. I thought, well, you know, perhaps I've done my sort of stint in the army, and that's what we like, you know. But it was not to be.
20 years hard labour.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But did you think, as soon as the numbers came, I mean, which ones were the first ones that made you think, right, this is all, it's all back on, sort of thing?
Well, they happened really quickly. I mean, probably like literally in the space of like a week or two. I wrote Roll On Summer, Here's the Good News, Golden Leaves, Bring Back the Funk, Oranges and Rosewater, which is a B-side now, and a couple of others which I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, they just seem to be flowing, you know. And I didn't have to, it's not always nice to when you're writing that that it's not interrupted, you know. They just seem to be coming through you. They pass through you, you know. That's always a nice feeling. It's always a very creative sort of feeling, that.
Is it like, is it normally just sitting there with an acoustic guitar, or you're sitting somewhere else and you think, here it's, you know, or you...
Well, sometimes I just hear a tune in my head, you know what I mean? I'll get a couple of lines or whatever, and I hear a tune, or I hear a song in my head, or a kind of, you know, the bare bones of a song. And then I get the guitar and I try and find the chords or the melody or, you know, whatever I'm hearing. Sometimes it happens like that. And then other times it's kind of me sort of just sitting down and just kind of aimlessly and unself-consciously just playing, you know, and then something sort of comes together and it's like, oh, that's something nice, and then you just find the rest of it, really.
When did the idea come for it to be as is now? Was that?
I saw an exhibition when I went to Rome with my girlfriend back in February, I think it was. We went for a couple of days to Rome, and just by chance we saw this fantastic exhibition of a lot of 60s artists, painters, you know, pop artists, and there was a Eduardo Palazzi poster, right, which was As Is When or something like that, or whatever it was anyway. So I left that, and I just changed the last word, you know, and it just seemed appropriate, you know, after all that sort of time of not writing and not really being that bothered. It's just like I've just got the kind of hunger back again, you know. But it's nice, like I say, I guess I've already said this, but it's just nice that it's sort of found me, you know.
Dr. John, you know, they always say that you go into another zone and stuff, or, you know, like the album, or people say you go into a certain place when to create the numbers. Do you find that? It's like when you get back into writing the songs, it becomes you're somewhere else, sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess you are. I mean, where that place is, I don't think you could ever describe or know. And I guess you wouldn't even want to know where it is, you know, because it would spoil it all. But you definitely do. You could definitely go somewhere else, that's for sure. And I mean, I think the only downside for me of it all, I mean, because I think it's, when you feel that creative, it's a great feeling, because you don't know, like I said, you don't know where it's coming from. It's just flowing through you, and it's coming from somewhere else. But I guess the downside is it's just all-consuming as well, you know. So you have to do day-to-day things like everyone does, you know. but my head's sort of like fucking, you know, trying to keep my mind on these day-to-day runnings of things, you know, with family and people and love, and the rest of my mind is sort of on these sort of songs, you know. So my wife's talking to me, my girlfriend's talking to me. So, and she's like, but I'm just like, I'm hearing it in a way, but I'm not hearing it, you know, because I'm thinking about this song's going through my fucking head, you know what I mean?
And do the lyrics come at the same time as the music?
Well, sometimes they do. I mean, you know, it's always, I can't ever say what pattern it takes, because sometimes it's like with Roll On Summer, I just write the words out one night and then got the tune the next day. And then other times I'll be playing the guitar and the words will just appear, and that will kind of make the, you know, that's the foundation of the song, and you just build on that. So I haven't really got any pattern to it at all. It's just wherever it comes, you know.
Was it easy to get the to do the like rockier numbers, like much heavier than recent albums?
Well, that came about more through me doing a tour back in March and just buzzing again off playing live, you know, which I nearly always do, but even this time was even more. I just think we're getting better as a band as well. I really do. However old I get, I just think it's all getting better to me, you know. And well, that certainly was anyway. And I just thought, you know, what the kind of sort of songs we need as a live working unit, the kind of sort of songs we really need, and the sort of songs as well that my audience will really respond to, you know. And we need a bit more rock and roll back in there, you know, because it's all got a bit mid-tempo in the last sort of few albums, a bit soft. And so I guess it was kind of geared towards that, not so much towards what I think my audience will like, even though, you know, kind of that is a consideration obviously, but more what's going to work live as well, you know. And we've also tried to sort of keep down, not doing too many overdubs. We have got brass and a few things, but I mean, but as much as possible, you hear the four-piece band, you know, 4 instruments and a voice, and try to keep it like that, just so all the things we can do live. I mean, we play all the songs live, and as you hear them, as whatever we record is just whatever we played it, you know. And I just think, and we can reproduce that sound on stage as well, you know.
Do you think, was it subconsciously you were aware that bands were playing stripped down rock and roll again, and it was like it reminded you that
yeah,
that's always been close to your heart, sort of thing? Was it?
Definitely, man. And I have to say, you know, probably also a lot of that influence comes through my kids as well, my 2 eldest children. Not children, but 2 of my 2 eldest kids, who were just mad for music, man, just bang into it, and just them sort of pulling me in and going, come listen to this, or, you know, I mean, for them it's kind of MTV, which is a bit fucking sad for me. But nevertheless, they're still getting the message through, you know. And definitely all these little bands come up, whether I like their music or not, they're out there doing it and playing live, and I think that's so, you know, so fucking important. I mean, it just brings a whole new energy and lifeblood to music, you know. And you know, no matter how old you are and how many records you've done and what you've done and all that crap, you know, you need that kick up the arse every now and again, you know.
And did it come as easy as you thought? To just suddenly they come to you and it's a really heavy number, like you know, half the album's pretty full on, isn't it? I mean,
it is, yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, it did come easily. I mean, I wouldn't always say that, you know, but I have to say this time it did, because they, you know, they just seemed to just be flowing through me really. And even up to like a week before we started rehearsing for the last part of the album, I was still writing tunes then. I mean, I wrote probably like 4 or 5 in like the last week before we started recording, you know. And a lot of them were going to be like, well, just, you know, we need a couple of B-sides, so I just you know, just bang a couple of B-sides out, which have turned the corner and there becomes something else again, you know. So it was kind of, it's just nice to feel that creative and productive again, you know, and not me pulling my hair out about it. It was just kind of, it was just there. It was just sort of so apparent. And Roll On Summer was the first tune, which I got back from wherever I'd been out or whatever, and just dashed off these lyrics, and then got the tune the next day to them. And then it just seemed to flow from that really, just songs just seemed to come, you know. So I probably wrote about sort of 6 or 7 songs in that space of time. And then nothing else, even though things was kind of fermenting in my mind over Christmas. And then just sort of from like sort of February, March, especially being on the road around March time, I was just, like I said before, I was just buzzing off playing live and that. And then just all these other songs just started coming, you know. And the more you get, the more concise the picture becomes as well, of the whole, you know, what it should be.